Okay, right, guys, welcome back, welcome back to the AI-powered software development training program. All right, so this is module what? Nine, module 9, lesson 5. And 9 is 4, rather. Okay, we're in module 9 and lesson number 4. Okay, so in this lesson, we'll be looking at a very important concept, how to view, how to register a domain name and set up a cPanel hosting, right? We want to talk about that today. Right, this will help you to set up your CI/CD pipeline as we progress. Okay, so I need to log out from here. All right, so here is, before we get started, I would like to define some terms. The first one is a domain name. What is a domain name? Because you are going to need a name, a domain name to actually represent your website that you have built. Right? So a domain name is a digital identity site, a unique ID, right? A destination where you host, where you put a website. If somebody wants to come to your house, they will definitely need your address, right? So online, when you deploy a website, for somebody to visit that website, they need an address, right? That address is what we call a domain name, okay? It also represents your digital branding of your website, all right? So let me quickly show you a standard or what I would call a theoretical definition, right? So here we have a domain name is a human-friendly, unique address on the internet, just like google.com, www.google.com, www.techfielddigital.com, www.facebook.com. It maps to a complex IP address that computers use. It functions like a home address, making it easy for people to find and access websites by typing a memorable name into a browser instead of a long string of numbers. Not usually, these things are supposed to be IP addresses, numbers, all right? But that numbers have been converted into a name that can be remembered, all right? So if I say techfielddata.com, by the time I load it into my browser, by the time it gets to the server, it becomes an address, an IP address made up of numbers, all right? So, but for you, the user, you see it as text, a name, a brandable name, all right? So you say that the domain name is user-friendly address. It is the text you type into a web browser to visit, such as wikipedia.org, hostinga.com, and so on and so forth. It's a shortcut to an IP address. It acts as a human readable alias for the numeric IP address that computers use to locate servers on the internet, right? Then the last one is that it's a unique identifier. It provides a unique and consistent online identity for your website, all right? So there is no two websites that can have the same domain name, right? It may look alike, but something has changed somewhere, okay? For instance, techfielddigital.com. Let me show you. This is our company name, techfielddigital.com. It is not the same thing as this one. Let me show you another one. Now, see the difference. This one is .com, while that our own is .com.ng. I actually owned this domain name before. Something happened and those bad guys took it from me because I didn't renew on time. All right, so this is ours. Look at the difference is just .com.ng and .com here. So they can't be the same. Can't be exactly the same. That's why sometimes all these internet fraudsters can decide to register a name that looks similar to the real name. For instance, I recently saw how they did Microsoft.com, all right? Microsoft.com is actually the domain name of Microsoft. Now, fraudsters decided to do, instead of this first M you are seeing, they did RM there, RM. All right. It looks the same because R and N RN combines to give you M. So it makes it look like they are the same. Look at this. Have you seen that? This RM, but it looks like M. All right. So if you see this, you think it's Microsoft. And before you know it, visit it, it's a wrong link. Okay, but it still look like Microsoft domain name. So why I'm saying all this because no two domain names, no two websites can share the exact domain name. There must be something different in the two, right? So it's a unique identifier. It's unique, okay? So and we also have what we call hosting. Hosting is how you uh, hosting is a way of taking your website from your computer, right? It's a service where you can deploy your computer on a server online for visibility on the World Wide Web. Look at the actual definition. It's a service that provides the infrastructure and the technology needed for individuals and organizations to make their content or services accessible, right? Mostly commonly by hosting websites. You can't just build and it ends up in your cursor, it ends up in Replit, it ends up in Lovable or any other coding tool or VS Code. You have to take it to a hosting server, right? So that it can be visible on the internet for everyone to see. You're not building for yourself, you're building for the online, the World Wide Web, okay? So this service is offered by certain companies. You have to pay for it, and they give you a portion of their server, and you put your website there. So in this class, I'm going to show you how that is done. Firstly, how to register the domain name, then how to set up the hosting. There are several types of hosting. We have shared hosting, which is the most common. We have WordPress hosting, we have cloud hosting, we have the VPS hosting, and the rest of them. So we're going to start from the small ones when we go into the advanced concepts, all right? Starting from domain name registration. Now, there are certain companies, I'm going to take you through some of them. Let's start from the Nigerian ones. We have 54.com. We have your servers. Your servers engine. We have there are actually many, so many of them. We have Domain King. These are the local ones here in Nigeria. Okay, this is a 254, formerly known as Google Host. Yeah. So these are companies in Nigeria that offer domain name registration and hosting. You can use them, but I prefer I can use them for domain registration, but when it comes to hosting, I use the foreign companies, right? So this is for Nigerian companies. There are more than these. These are the ones I can remember right now. So for the foreign ones, we have Namecheap.com. We have Hostinger, Hostinger.com. We have GoDaddy. We have many. Then we also have Blue Hosts. Yeah, we have Bluehost. So all of them offer this service. Some of them are better than the other. Of course, they make those claims that they are the best. So, but I have the ones I use, right? There is also this popular one, HostGator. Used it a couple of times. HostGator.com. So this is Bluehost. Let me see that. Okay, Bluehost.in. All right, so let's talk about that. Let's look at them. So this is HostGator.com. If you want to register a domain name here or pay for hosting, these are their plans. All right, these are their plans for hosting. $2.65 per month for this hatching plan. Very small businesses. They have baby plan 3.95, business plan 4.95, pro plan 18.95 per month. You can choose to pay monthly or you pay yearly, whichever one works for you. Right? So you want to pay, you come here and look for the plan. Okay, you can even start from where we are. Just select the plan you want and proceed to make your payment. Right, but I really don't use them again. They are good, but certain preferences. This is the guy. This is the one I use most. One, their customer service is top notch. Even at midnight, we chat them up. They will answer. All right, and their prices are also fair compared to others. This is a very powerful competitor also. Right, so for me, I use this for the foreign ones. Then for the Nigerian one, I use this. Why I still use the Go 54 is that there are some domain names, extensions, right, that are not the foreign companies are not licensed to register. They are mostly done by the local companies, like domain names that are ending with .ng. That is, that's a Nigerian name. .com.ng also, that you have to use a Nigerian company to do that. Or maybe you are building for a college, a school. That would be .edu.ng. Anything ng, that you have to patronize the Nigerian guys. Right? I'm not saying their hosting is bad, but I've had experiences where the service was not very efficient. So I used to use them before I later decided to stop using them for hosting. But I now use them only for domain registration. So I can register a domain name here, then take my hosting from here. I point the two to work together. Show you how to do all that. All right, let's assume we want to register a name right now. Let's start from here. So I'm going to start here. Let's guess, let's say I want to register beauty clothes, right? .com. That .com there represents extension, the domain extension. Usually the complete structure of a domain name is HTTPS colon, then / will come twice, then www dot, then the actual name, then the extension. HTTPS there means hypertext transfer protocol. Then the security there is an abbreviation for security. Okay, security. So hypertext transfer protocol secured, right? That security can be expanded to SSL, meaning security socket layer. All right. When you visit a site and that thing is not there, you don't see that padlock like what you have here. It means there is no SSL installed on that site, right? So this is the HTTP there is a protocol. The S there is security. Then the www is the World Wide Web. Then the beauty clothes is the organization's name. .com is the extension, right? The extension shows the kind of organization that has that domain name. For instance, .com are for commercial organizations, companies who are doing profit business. We also have .org. These are non-profit or NGOs, churches, mostly use this one. We have .edu, that is for educational institution. We have .net for internet service providers. We have .io still for internet service provider. There are so many, but one of your assignments should be you going back to research on domain extensions and see the kind of companies that are using them, right? So that when you want to choose, you'll know which one to go for. But mostly what you'll be using most is .com. But that's the most popular. We call them top level domain extension, TLDs. They are popular, they are mostly used, right? So that is that. Okay, so the price for domain name registration ranges from, for foreign companies, from 10 to 11 to 12 to 13 to $14, all right? And that is for 1 year, okay? when you see this .com for $6.49, it is for new customers. If you are signing up for the first time, this will apply to you. All you need to do is to apply the promo code. This. There used to be Newcom 649, Newcom in capital letter. That's the promo code to get this discount. So that instead of $12, they sell it to you at 6.49. Newcom. That is NEWCOM 649. You get that. All right. So let's proceed to try to register this. So I will type the domain name. I will need to add all this, remove them. I will search if it is available. Just the same way you search for company names with CAC, Corporate Affairs Commission in Nigeria, you have to search if someone else is not already using that name you want to register. Like I said, it has to be unique to you, meaning no other person has to use it before you. Okay? Right. Sometimes when you search and someone else have already registered it, you can make some little adjustment. For instance, I can decide to remove this S from it. See now, instead of giving me a very small amount of money to pay for this domain name, they are giving me a very high amount. Why? Because this domain name is a premium domain name. There are certain domain names that are premium in the sense that they have generic words in it, like beauty clothes, right? Beauty clothes, that is a very powerful domain name, and it's very expensive. I didn't expect it to be very high like this. It could have been something like $11 or $12. Okay, so let's modify it a little so that we can get that fair price that will be useful. Now, so let's see, I remove clothes. I remove that S, it becomes all right. I've gotten it. So this is what it should have been. This is normal. So if I want to proceed to register it, okay, let me say this. So as you can see, I didn't like the price I was given. I had to make a little change, a very little change in that name so that I can get what I want. Sometimes somebody else have already taken it. What do? You simply modify what you have. You just tweak it a little, all right, so you can still proceed. You can't be waiting for that person to finish using it before you take it. No, business must happen. So you change it to something else that still portray or project the brand you are building for. Sometimes I do .ng and add, like my domain name. Though you can't do this here. Remember, I told you that .ng is not supported in these foreign platforms, right? .ng is just can only be done by Nigerian companies. Okay, so that is that. All right, so let's proceed with this and register it. Even though I'm not actually going to register it, I don't need that name. Okay, but I'm going to show you how it is done. Okay, they even made suggestions down here in case you choose to use a different extension. .com is here, .org, .net, .ai, and so on. You scroll down, you see a lot of extensions. Look at .inc, .com, .xyz, and so on. Some of them are very expensive. Some of them are very cheap. You see the prices. All right. So, but by default, when people want to visit a website, in their mind, it has to end with .com. When you use something different, it can make you lose that traffic, right? So I encourage, if you can, as much as you can, stick to .com. Except if it's an NGO or a non-profit, go to .org. If it's a school, switch to .edu, and so on, right? So that you don't end up losing traffic just because you want to change the domain extension. All right, so let's register this. I click on Add to Cart. This is not difficult. All you have to do is just the same way you pay for things on Jumia, you can do this. Okay, so as soon as I click on Add to Cart, it added it to cart. I can now come and either view item or click on checkout. I want to register it, so I click on checkout. So it brings me here. Now, remember I told you about Newcom 649. If you're a new user, you add it here and apply, right? And it won't work for me because I'm an old guy here. I have over, it should be up to 50 now on this platform, using different accounts anyway for different clients. Okay, so that is that. All I need to do is to click on confirm order. It will now prompt me to sign up. If I have an account already, I will log in. If I don't have, I will now use this site to sign up. All right, so all you need to do is, for new users, is to fill this form, create an account form. But for me, I have an account already. Why don't I log in and go? So we'll log in. All these are different customer accounts. that I've built for. So I will sign in with my own account. They will send a code to my email, that email that I submitted during when I was signing up. I'm going to check my mail now and fetch that code and put it in. Let me look for it. I've seen it to 08892. You have to be fast about this. If not, the code will expire. All right. So I'm in my account. See the top left. So that's my account. Then I can pay now. How do you pay? You need a card that works. It's not all cards that works here. All right. So you need a card that works. I think I mentioned something about some cards. But I think the Nigerian government recently tried to make these cards to work again. I've not confirmed that yet. But the benefit of doubt, you can sign up in a platform called JigPay. It's a mobile app, or you use cheaper cash, but cheaper is very expensive. What they do is that they will give you virtual dollar cards, and you can use it for online transactions on foreign platforms. Okay, so I can edit this card and put another card. All right, I can add a new card. See now, and add a new card. I can use a previously saved card. I choose the cards I've added already. So that is if it's valid, you will be allowed to make that payment. So I'll click on continue to attempt to debit me. I pay. There's nothing in that card. Only fund it when I have need for it. So it won't go. Right. So once you pay like this, they will send you a mail, right? They will send you a mail containing the details of what you have paid for. Assuming, I know this will not go through, so let me go back. But that is just how to register the domain name. That is just how it is. There's nothing more than that. They will now send you a mail. So assuming I wanted to also pay for hosting, I will have to come here. This is hosting. There's shared hosting. There's WordPress. There is reseller. If I'm going to resell it, it is VPS. There is dedicated server just for you alone. And of course, this is one of my migrate from other platforms to Namecheap. Okay, let's do this one, which is the one I usually like doing for all these small websites, right? So I click on shared hosting. If it's a big project, you will need shared hosting or you will need a VPS, at least cloud hosting. VPS means virtual private server. All right, for your small website that you are just starting up, this first plan is good enough. It can contain 3 websites. For something a bit bigger, or you want to have more projects inside that server, you can try out this one. You can see it can contain unlimited website according to them, but it's not actually unlimited, right? Usually when you get a certain portal, when you use it to a certain point, it will tell you, oh, you have used it too much. Your files are too much. You have to stop or you upgrade. And this is Stellar. These are named Stellar Business, Stellar Plus, and Stellar. So anyone that works for you, you choose the plan based on your budget or based on your client's budget, right? So if a client should pay 500K, you should be able to take on this plan. The client should pay 200K for which you should be able to take on this plan for that client. Anything less than that, I use an existing hosting for you because you can actually add more websites in one hosting, right? So if you don't pay enough money for me to get hosting for you, that means I'm going to add it to an existing hosting that I already have, right? So that is that. I don't need to buy a new one. But if you pay, of course, you deserve a new one. But the good thing is to get the money from them, pay for their own, send them their login details. That is the right professional thing to do every new client, right? So to pay, you just go proceed. Remember, you need 2 things here, domain name and hosting, not just the domain name. Now, as soon as I clicked on that plan, it updated my cart. I still have the domain name in my cart. This is it. Look at the bottom of the page. Then this is the hosting that has been, and I've calculated it, and it is $22.88 per year. So it's $6 $6.18 per year, right? I don't actually expect this to be $6 because I'm not a new customer. For you, it may be $6 if that's your first transaction with them. All right. Okay, so coming here, I'm paying for these two things because I need the two of them. Right. They now give me options. You want to register a new name, or you already have a name somewhere you want to add to this server, to this hosting you are buying. So whichever option works for you. If you choose this option, they now say, do you want to do a new purchase, or you want to use that one that is already in your cart that you didn't pay for? It's still in my cart, so I can choose whichever one works for me. If I'm choosing a new one, I don't want to use that old one, they will prompt me to search again. As soon as I selected this, they say search again. So I search it, and if I have what I'm looking for, I will click and use it instead of using the one that was already in my cart. See? Okay, so this is available. This has been taken. Imagine this rubbish I typed and somebody has taken it. Just imagine that. So let me close that. I just wanted to demonstrate it for you to see. So I want to pay for the one that is already in my cart. It has been added. My cart has been updated, 29 USD. Right? I don't need to waste much time on this. It's just the same way you buy things online. But I'm trying to see how you can buy domain and hosting at the same time on the same platform, right? And when you pay for it like this, that hosting will have this domain name as its primary domain name. There's the main domain name of that hosting, right? The hosting works with domain, especially for cPanel like this. So the main domain, which is primary domain of that server, will be this one that I'm buying them together. You can add more to it if that hosting plan allows it, but the main one remains this one that I bought them together. You can set up auto renewal if you like, but I don't do it. Pay for it when it is expired, about to expire. Okay, so having done all that, I can now confirm the order the same way, make payment. Once you pay, an email will come to you. I'm going to show you a sample of that email because I'm not going to actually complete this order. I won't pay for it. Don't need to pay. All right. Once you pay, let me show you a sample of an email that will come to you. We'll switch right now. Okay, so let me just say, so you see, all right, this is, okay, that transaction I initiated has declined. Look at it. Look at it. That's declined because there's no money in that guy. So let me say hosting details. I'll just pick an old one that I've already received. Okay, this is one that has popped up. Hosting details for this. So you're going to see some things that will be shown to you, including your server URL, which we call the host name. This is the IP address. This is the main domain I told you about. Now, the most important thing here is the login details to your cPanel. Look at it. They will give you the URL. They will give you the username, and they will give you the password. The next thing after this is the password. All you need is to do is to click on this to take you into your cPanel. So here, the username and the password, we use it to log in. I'm logging in right now. So, thank you. Okay. So this is the cPanel, the control panel. This is where you deploy your website to. This is what controls or where you store the files you build with. You built in your cursor, in your augment code, your VS code, your Replit. This is where you bring them. All right. But before we go to that part, let me just show you around a little. All right. This is it's divided into parts. This is called exclusive for Namecheap. So Calculus, if you want to install an application like WordPress and scripts, other scripts, That's not the one we are using right now. Website builder, they have their own builder. This is for SSL, all these stuff. You want to set up a Python application, PHP, Node.js. All right, so I'm gonna still scroll down. Okay, this is still that Softacula there. I'm breaking it down to show you the scripts or the ready-made softwares that are available here, right? In different categories and types. That's not why we are here. Now, this guy here is very important to us. File manager, we're going to use it a lot, okay? Or FTP accounts. Those two are important to us, right? Take note of that. We're coming back to it. Then you want to create these professional emails, info@ beautybags.com, all right? HR@ careers@CEO@. This is where you do it. Let me show you an example. So I will click it open in a new tab. Okay, so here we are. I've created quite a lot of them for this particular account. See them. Then I'm going to create one right now. Need to see. I click on create. I choose the domain name. I have about 3 domain names here. This is the first one. This is the second one. This is the third one. Right. The other ones are subdomains. I'll tell you what they are. These are the main domains. 1, 2, 3. 3. Okay, so I think I want to create with let's say Morex. Say info, type the info here, or CEO, or Emmanuel Edward, my name. If I want to use my name at this domain name, that's what it will look like at Morex. Yeah, as I'm working for that company, right? I scroll down, I put a password, whatever I like. Okay, so I can also generate here. I can view if I want to. Then click on edit settings. You are the admin as far as this project is concerned. So you're the one that will allocate quotas, memory quota for each email, such that we'll go finish you now. We'll still have to come back to you. You're like the one in charge, right? Okay. So you can decide to give somebody 3 gig. Eh? If it's full, you will come back. This and Bila. Like never. All right. But most of my clients, I give them unlimited, especially the ones I perceive will be busy. Like for instance, careers. You know, that if they want to do recruitment now, all application will go to that email. So I usually give those ones limited. Right? It's not so good for them to be calling you every time for everything. So just do the right thing and go. Right. If I want to still create more, I have to tick this. I will stay on this page. Click on create. It will create. All right, look at this. You have automatically created. So this email now exists. I can put it in my business card if I'm working for this organization. I'm sharing with people, they'll mail me. To access that email, let me show you how to access it. Okay, let's do that here. I will say, I will type that domain name /webmail. It will take me to the login page of that mail /webmail. Take me to the login page. So this is the login page. So I can now type the email address. Take it was Emmanuel Edward. Emmanuel Edward at. So you just type the email. Then you type your password that you use in creating it. Okay. So I can log in. All right, so I'm logged in right now. You can see this is where you set up some things, password and security. Here you can change your password. All right. So sometimes the client will ask, how do I change my password? Because you are the one that created for them. They need to change the password for purpose of privacy. So we show them this place. They want to log out, they can log out from here. you want to actually open the email inbox, you click on this, either here or here. So when you click, it will take you here. You want to set up this email externally in another application like Gmail. These are the details you will need to do that setup. I won't talk about that for now. This is your draft. This is your sent items, your junk. Just the same way you have in an other mailbox. This is how it is. I want to create a new mail. I click on this pencil icon. So it opens a new mail for me. By default, the sender is here. So the destination, let's say tech fields, the one I want to send to. Do I even need to teach this? This is just the way you send your email. There's no difference. All right. So you click subject, you can do attachments here. You can save it. You can see responses if it was a thread. You can send it at the bottom here. So that is that for mails. Let's go back to cPanel. All right. If you want to add a new domain name, I told you some of these hosting can contain more than one domain name. This is where you add the extra domain name, but you have to register that domain name first. When you register it, you come and click here, and it opens this interface I will open for you, right? Still loading. All right, so it has opened. As you can see, I already have some domain names. So I've exhausted the list that they gave. This is the main domain name I told you about. So I've added 2 more. This particular hosting can only accommodate 3. Cannot add more. But if these are you add, you just click here, create a new domain. You type the domain name here. Let's assume I want to add this, right? I've reached the maximum. They are warning me. All right, so you just fill it in there. This one will fill automatically by its own. You click on submit and it will create it for you. That's all. Adding the domain name. And you can deploy another website into that added domain name. We call them add-on domain name, right? Which other thing is important to us? All right, so that is that. You can change your password here on cPanel. Then this is the right-hand side shows you your server details. This is your user. This is also your username. This is your primary domain name. So this is the IP address of this server. All right. The server is actually on hardware, just like a computer. It has an IP address. This is it. Then this one is your own login, like last login IP address. Right. This is the statistics of the server. Aside the domain name, we're given 2 add-on domain names. I've used them. That's why it's showing 2 over 2. Out of 30 emails, for this particular account, they gave me only 30. I've used 14. There are some that are unlimited. Subdomains, they gave me 30. I've used 2. Right? Memory, they gave me 20 gig. I've used 419 MB only. FTP account, only 1. So these are the statistics. You just check them, go through, and see what's up. All right. So that is that for cPanel. Okay. Normally, I need to also mention some things before we proceed. This is just cPanel. This is it. There's nothing more than this. On your own, you can just go through it, understand more things, right? But I'm just showing you just enough for the purpose of this course. Our goal is to deploy our applications on this cPanel. Yes, I said that file manager is very important. Let me open it for us to see. You click and open it. Loading. Okay, so we are here. This is my file manager. Now notice that I have this domain name here. I have this second one. I have this third one. The 3 of them have their different folders here. Then I also have by default the public underscore HTML. This one here is the default folder that you deploy your application to. These things you are seeing here are the files of what I built in Lovable. They are the ones here. All right. This is where I uploaded them to. And when you upload something here, it becomes visible on the World Wide Web. When you watch the lesson for CI/CD pipeline, you understand it better. when you also want the lesson for how to deploy to cPanel and other hosting server, you understand it better, right? But this is where you upload your files to your boot to, right? Now, when you add an extra domain to a cPanel, a folder will automatically be created for that domain. For instance, I added this one, and a folder has been created for it. I also added this one. A folder has been created for it. Using that, and I now deploy the files of that hosting, of that website by uploading them in that folder. How do you upload? You just go into that folder. Let's say I want to upload for this one, and I'll click the top here, upload. It opens in a new tab, and I select. I go into my system, and I look for that file and upload it. Until it shows 100% here, you have not uploaded it. It has to show 100% and change to green. All right, let me show you what I mean. As I wanted to upload let me just do a simple file upload. Let me upload an image just to demonstrate that. Okay, let's assume I want to upload this thing. All right, so that's how it until it shows green like this. Don't stop. Don't refrain. Don't think it is over. All right, so in the subsequent lesson, you will learn how to actually deploy. All right, this is just me introducing you to how to register your domain name and secure hosting. All right, so I mentioned that there are not other kinds of hosting like AWS. AWS is the VPS hosting, the VPS hosting. All right, so you want to patronize them, you can come use it. It's owned by Amazon, Amazon Web Service. That's the meaning of AWS, right? So you can just get it for your business. Then we also have I will just show you Excel. Excel is also there. You can deploy applications, right? Then we also have a Netlify. Netlify will show me Netflix. Okay, I didn't type it. Yes. Right, so this is it. You can push your ideas to the web. All right. Then we also have Heroku. Heroku, still for the same purpose. Which other one? We even have DigitalOcean. There are many. DigitalOcean. Okay, we can take a look at most of these services. All right, so that is it. Now let me quickly come back to cPanel and talk to you about I've mentioned add-on domain. There's also what we call subdomains. Subdomains. You add them in the same place. You add domain. Subdomain are domain within a domain, right? Assuming I have a techfusedata.com.ng. I want to build a standalone e-commerce store within that techfusedata.com. So I can create a domain name. I don't need to register that one because it is tied to their existing domain name. So I can say shop.techfusedata.com.ng. Shop. That is, I appended it as a prefix before the main domain. I don't need to register it, right? Because the main domain is already registered. So it's a sub-service under the main domain. That is how it is. So we call it subdomain. You add it the same way you add an add-on domain. You click on create a domain, you type it just the way you want it. Let's say shop.techfuse digital.ng. All right, so, but the thing is, Techfuse data is not on this server, so it has to be a domain name that is on this server, right? So let me say Morex. It's on this server, and I want to create it. Morex things.com.ng can be added here, right? Morex shop.morex is a subdomain, so this one can actually be created, right? can actually be created because it's not a main domain. This thing they are saying does not apply to subdomains, right? I can add a subdomain. They are talking about main domain. Main domain has to be 3 for this particular account or for this particular hosting plan. All right. So I can add this subdomain and it will go, it will fly. Let's try it. Okay. Will not determine the name server IP address. Okay. Okay. I made mistake in the way I typed it. There is a mistake here. That's why that error is showing. Morex Sphinx, I think it's correct now. Or it's correct now. That error is also cleared. So I think this should work out. So with this shop, I can deploy a totally new application in this shop.morexsphinx.com.ng. I can deploy an e-commerce store, a standalone store. You see that that's created successfully. All right. So we now have something called shop.morexsphinx.com.ng. It's a shop owned by Morex Sphinx. Let's put it that way. Right. So that is that for subdomain. Then the next thing I want us to see is called Zone Editor. Zone Editor. I don't know if I should suspend this till later. Because it's not actually very basic. Zone Editor. All right. I can create I think we should leave this for now. Let's leave this for now. All right, guys. So that is that for this lesson. You can now register a domain name. You can buy hosting. You can add a domain name inside an existing server. All right. You can add a subdomain. Right. You understand what cloud hosting is. You understand how to know. You know how to see your server IP address right here on your statistics. Where we have server statistics. Right, that is here, somewhere here. Okay, you can see your server IP address, right? So you can create webmails, and you know how to create webmails, create mails. Okay. What else? Okay. For SSL, usually when you register a new domain name and add it to a hosting, for Namecheap give you 1 year free. It's only after that that you start paying, right? It's $6 something per year. Only after that, that's for basic SSL. It's not the advanced one. We have Wildcard that you pay about $99. But this one is just, it is primary SSL, offered by Let's Encrypt. Don't worry about the terminologies I'm using. With frequency of usage and more familiarity, they will become common terms to you, right? So for now, just soak yourself in it and use them, right? So when you pay for hosting, you also have a domain name. They give you 1 year free SSL. Well, you don't need to do anything to set it up. It's automatically reflected on your domain name. You will know that when by checking here and you see that connection is secure. It's not showing unsecure. That's how to know it. Sometimes when you set up newly, it may show as if it's not secure. Allow it some hours, it will become secure. It's only after 1 year that you need to worry yourself about it. And I will show you what to do, all right, when that 1 year elapses. I don't actually renew it. What I do is I use Cloudflare. It's a platform called Cloudflare that Cloudflare is used to increase the performance and the security and reliability of websites, right, and applications. Usually they call it a content delivery network. It actually protects your site from attacks, right? There are people out there who are specialists in attacking websites. Sometimes they send a denial of service. They send fake traffic or bot traffic to websites so that no other person is able to access that site. Just like every maybe 100 people trying to pass through a door, the end of the day, nobody's passing through it. So any of denying people access, right? So those things do happen. But when you, this is actually optional for now. I'm just trying to, all right, make you guys familiar with these things. For this particular one, you don't need to really use it yet, not yet, all right? So when your SSL expire, that's when you will really need it, okay? So this is Cloudflare. I'm trying to log in so you see what it looks like. So I'm logging in. Okay, there's a two-factor authentication. Okay. That's 815. So I'm logging in. Okay. All right. So what you simply do here is, see, I have some sites here that I've already added, right, that are enjoying protection from Cloudflare. So you click on the top right to add a site, or you can click on this onboard a domain name. You click on it. That is, if your hosting has expired and you want to enjoy Cloudflare, so you add the domain name. Let's say, which domain name? It has to be valid domain name. So I'm thinking of which one is really valid. Want to add textutiliton.com. Right, let's assume I want to add this. Okay, after adding it, I scroll down here, it says block on all pages. Do you want to block bots? All right, I don't have to block these guys. All right, these are AI bots that may want to fetch information from my website and display it to people that are searching for content. Assuming I'm searching for, let's say, what is JIT? Let's see something. All right, so this is what happens. When people search on Google, Google will look for that content on websites that allow it, all right, and bring it here, this AI overview, all right? So if you block it, that means you have blocked the possibility, the prospect of your website ever being discovered, all right? So I don't usually block it. So I allow them to crawl my site. So I proceed. Now there is something called, okay, we are not yet there. So they have paid plan. They also have free plans. So most of my websites, it's actually good enough to give you a basic domain validation as SSL. So I will now scroll down. Now, this is where the real work is. You have to be careful to understand this. This is called name server. You have to replace your current name server with Cloudflare name service. Now, when you register a domain name, that domain name is pointed to a hosting. That hosting, the hosting company you bought hosting from will usually give you a name server. They come in pairs, all right, that you use in pointing your domain name to that server. Assuming I bought hosting from Namecheap and I registered a domain name with Google Host, Namecheap will give me two pairs of name server. Take it to my Google Host account and put it there. I'll show you where to put it, all right? When you put it there, you have simply pointed that domain name from Google Host to work in Namecheap server, all right? But now we are trying to enjoy security from Cloudflare, all right? So that means I need to replace that name server that I pointed to my hosting with this two. I need to replace it. Need to replace it. Need to change it to this two. Now, let me refer you back to that email I showed you before. Okay, let me refer back to this email. All right, this is the name server. I paid for hosting and they gave me this pair of name server, dns1.namecheaphosting.com, dns2.namecheaphosting.com. So I need to go to my domain name. This is what is currently there. If I want to enjoy Cloudflare, I need to replace with this. I need to replace this one with a Cloudflare node, which is this two. And that website will now be routed through Cloudflare. We'll start enjoying the services of Cloudflare, which includes SSL. Right? Okay, let me go to Namecheap and show you what I really mean. Okay. I love you. All right, I don't intend for this tutorial to be very long, this particular lesson to be very long, so we are going to be very quick, a few seconds. I'm going to shut this down. Okay, so you come to domain name. You assuming I wanted to change for, so I wanted to use this name. Then I wanted to use this, all right? So I scroll in. Now, this is where you do it. This is where you do that, what I've just explained. This is the name server. When you go to the domain name, you click on manage. You come to, there are 4 tabs here. There's domain, there's product, there's sharing and transfer, there's advanced DNS. But for the first tab, domain, now there are 3 stats. There are three, how will I call it? Name server position that you can switch to. The basic one is the first one. The second one is this one. And the third one is the custom. If I want to add Cloudflare here, I will use custom. Put the first one here. Let me copy it and bring it. Let's go. Copy. And put it one. Copy this one. Bring it here and save it with this small icon. All right. And this domain name, the Henry World Foundation, will now be routed through my Cloudflare. It doesn't remove the Namecheap hosting. It actually rerouting. And the site is still on Namecheap. It's rerouting through Cloudflare. It's like kind of proxy. All right, a middleman. Are you getting it? The middleman in between Cloudflare and in between the Namecheap hosting and Cloudflare. All right. So when you register this domain name newly, alongside with the hosting at the same time, this is where you should be. Now, if you want to add the domain name to another Namecheap hosting, maybe an existing hosting, you want to add an add-on domain. You want to add this domain as an add-on domain to an existing hosting. You didn't pay for it at the same time. You use the middle one. But if you want to bring in an external name server, assuming this domain name is registered as it is with Namecheap, but I want to host it with HostGator, I have to pick name server from HostGator and bring it here and put it here, just like I brought from Cloudflare. So I will choose the custom. So I bring a name server from the external hosting and not the different hosting and put it here and save it. By that, I've connected it to that external hosting server. So that is how it works. All right. Please allow your brain to understand this. It's not really difficult, but just a little thought to it and you'll get it. All right. So that is that for this lesson. See you in the next lesson. If you have any questions, you can drop it in the group and it will be addressed.